Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're breaking down the advanced wealth preservation strategies from Fortress Finance to help you absolutely bulletproof your portfolio for 2026. Look, if you've been feeling the tremors of economic uncertainty lately, believe me, you are not alone. The rules of the game are shifting so fast, and honestly, what worked like a charm in the last decade might actually be your biggest vulnerability in the next. The stakes have literally never been higher. So we're taking these critical insights and turning them into a clear, actionable roadmap to help you build your own financial fortress. Let's dive in.
Here's a quick look at our agenda. We'll be moving through 6 key areas: the new market reality, redefining investment success, dynamic hedging and defense, expanding your safe havens, advanced shielding strategies, and finally, building the exit plan.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the new market reality, and why our traditional assumptions are facing some serious new challenges.
We are right in the middle of a perfect storm of structural forces that are generating extreme, wild market volatility. We aren't just dealing with your normal, predictable business cycles anymore. We've got rapid AI disruptions completely rewriting industry standards basically overnight. Then add in soaring government debt globally, incredibly tense geopolitics messing with supply chains, and of course, those persistent inflation risks. But honestly, perhaps the most disruptive force? Algorithmic trading. Think of algorithmic trading like a digital stampede that happens in milliseconds. It means that when the market reacts to new information, it is significantly faster and infinitely more violent than in previous cycles. The days of just assuming the market will smoothly coast upward? Yeah, those are officially over.
Moving right along to Section 2, redefining investment success, and why we need to shift our focus from growth to preservation.
You know, when the environment changes this drastically, your entire mindset has to change with it. Most investors don't lose money in a downturn because they aren't smart. They lose money because they abandon discipline. So the absolute crucial point here is redefining our core focus. Instead of emotionally chasing bull markets and greedily asking, how much can I make, we have to pivot. The question that really defines successful modern investing during extreme volatility is, how much capital can I preserve while remaining positioned for growth?
And preserving capital isn't just about playing defense either. It is fundamentally about optionality. The outdated approach relies on passive endurance, the classic buy and hold, just crossing your fingers and hoping the market recovers quickly after a crash. But what if we face prolonged economic stagnation? The modern approach focuses intensely on preserving your purchasing power by maintaining liquidity and strictly limiting your drawdowns. Why does this matter? Well, it's simple. Having cash and limited losses means you have dry powder. You're the one in the position of power, ready to step in and scoop up incredible assets at massive discounts while everyone else is panic selling.
To really drive home why passive endurance is so dangerous today, we have to talk about sequence of returns risk. This is a massive threat, especially for retirees or really anyone relying on their portfolio for income. Imagine being forced to sell your house during a massive housing crash just because you need the cash to buy groceries. That's sequence risk. If you hit a severe market downturn right when you start withdrawing funds, you are forced to liquidate your assets at terrible, rock-bottom prices. That permanently damages a portfolio. In fact, it damages it to the point where it mathematically cannot recover, even if the broader market eventually bounces back.
Let's move into Section 3, dynamic hedging and defense. This is all about protecting against severe declines. For decades, the absolute gold standard of investing was the 60-40 portfolio, 60% stocks for growth, 40% bonds for safety. But that traditional setup, it's incredibly vulnerable right now. Why? Because during systemic volatility, correlations increase. Think of the 60-40 portfolio like a twin-engine plane. It's great under normal conditions, but what happens when a systemic shock causes both engines, your stocks and your bonds, to fail at the exact same time? The safety net vanishes right when you're closest to the ground. You just can't assume historical relationships between assets will hold up under extreme pressure anymore. Since diversification alone isn't a silver bullet anymore, we have to actively defend the fortress. Enter tail risk hedging. The goal here isn't to somehow profit from a market crash. It's to systematically offset a chunk of your broader portfolio's decline. By utilizing things like protective put options or inverse exchange-traded products, you're essentially buying insurance. Think about it. You don't buy fire insurance hoping your house burns down, right? You buy it so you aren't completely financially ruined if it does. Yes, it introduces a small cost during stable markets, but when things get ugly, it prevents catastrophic losses and keeps your wealth intact. And honestly, the absolute best way to handle this defense is to automate it. During a market crash, fear completely takes over. Emotional decision-making inevitably causes investors to sell at the absolute bottom. To prevent this, you need automated, rules-based risk controls. Think of them as your automated emotional bodyguards. A trailing stop-loss rule automatically sells an asset if it drops a certain percentage, capping your downside. Volatility-based position sizing automatically shrinks you exposure when markets get choppy. By locking these rules in ahead of time, you completely remove the human urge to panic.
Okay, on to Section 4, expanding your safe havens, looking way beyond traditional safe assets.
Now, gold has always been the historical anchor, the classic safe haven. But the modern investor has a much wider defensive toolkit to work with. Inflation-protected securities act as modern shields, physically protecting your purchasing power when inflation is running hot. High-quality infrastructure provides incredibly durable, tangible value in the real world. Defensive dividend companies, they keep consistent cash flowing right into your account, backed by ironclad balance sheets. And there are even certain decentralized finance, or DeFi protocols, that offer alternative diversification. Though a quick aside, the source material is very clear about treating DeFi as the high-risk, high-reward wildcard of the modern era, so proceed with extreme caution there. But combining these specific utilities drastically improves your portfolio's overall resilience.
Over the last decade, tech stocks generated massive returns, which was great, but it led to a lot of investors becoming dangerously concentrated in just one sector. To avoid this concentration risk, especially from highly vulnerable growth stocks, it's vital to distribute your defensive allocations across incredibly durable sectors. I'm talking utilities, healthcare, consumer staples. Think about it. No matter how bad the global economy gets, people are always going to need electricity, they'll always need medicine, and they'll always need toilet paper. That everyday necessity is exactly what makes these sectors so rock solid during a panic. Section 5 is up next, advanced shielding strategies, focusing on tax and jurisdictional defenses.
Look, nobody likes seeing an investment go down, but tax loss harvesting, that is the ultimate silver lining to a market crash. By strategically selling investments that have declined, you realize capital losses on paper. Then, you use those losses to offset the taxes you owe on capital gains elsewhere. It's a brilliant, totally legal way to make the taxman share in your temporary losses. It boosts your long-term recovery and noticeably improves your after-tax performance during bear markets. It really is an incredibly efficient way to salvage real value when the market is down. But shielding your wealth isn't just about taxes. It's about borders. Holding literally all of your wealth in one currency or one single country's banking system is an unnecessary gamble in today's highly connected world. Spreading your investments across multiple geographic jurisdictions shields your wealth from localized threats. If one country enters a deep recession, faces a sudden political crisis, or watches its currency rapidly depreciate, a geographically diversified portfolio ensures that only a tiny fraction of your wealth is actually exposed to that specific regional fire.
And finally, Section 6, building the exit plan, why you must plan before the recovery even begins.
One of the biggest mistakes you can make in investing is waiting until the news is entirely positive before you decide to reinvest, because by the time the headlines are good, you've completely missed the bottom. You need a predefined, staged deployment plan. Think of it like writing your grocery list before you go to the store, so you aren't making impulsive choices when a crisis hits. You execute a cool, calm, and collected buying strategy. You allocate capital when valuations become irresistibly cheap and systematically average back in as those leading economic indicators finally stabilize. Planning this transition from defense back to offense ensures you're acting purely on logic, not emotion. But before you finalize any of these strategies, you have to run a financial fire drill. You must perform scenario analysis. Intentionally try to break your portfolio on paper by stress testing it against specific adverse events. Ask yourself, how does my portfolio react to stagflation? What actually happens if interest rates go even higher, or if there's a cascading banking sector collapse? By running these hypothetical scenarios right now, you identify the hidden vulnerabilities in your plan before they catch you off guard as very real, very costly realities. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this really powerful final thought. Successful investing is not about having a crystal ball to predict every single crisis. It's about preparing for uncertainty before it arrives. It's about building a fortress. Those who establish disciplined, automated systems to preserve their capital today, the ones who shift their mindset from chasing growth to protecting purchasing power, they are the ones perfectly positioned for the massive wealth creation of tomorrow. So the big question I'll leave you with is this. If the market fractured tomorrow, is your portfolio built merely to survive, or is it structured to emerge stronger? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep building that fortress.